Welcome back to Man Down Sports, man. As you can see from the thumbnail, we have three topics that we wanted to discuss: Steph Curry, John Stockton, and of course, a little bit of football. Jonathan Taylor's situation that was just announced that the Colts have allowed him to seek a trade. They give him permission to seek a trade, and we'll talk more about that later. But before we get into this full episode, man, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. If you're watching this from Facebook, head over there to YouTube, give us a sub, hit the thumbs up, hit that thumbs up button. Also hit that share button and leave comments and engage with us. So now that we got all that out the way, I want to start this off with Steph Curry. Steph Curry is still promoting his documentary that a lot of people have been talking about and raving about. I haven't watched it myself, but I'll probably get around to it sometime soon. So he's making his rounds to different platforms and podcasts, and he was on the Give It Arenas podcast, and Give It Arenas interviewed him, asked a lot of good questions. But the last question he asked him before they closed everything out was, are you the best point guard ever? Are you the GOAT point guard? And his comments, his initial answer to it was very eye-opening and something that was kind of unexpected. Then he tried to clean it up toward the end. So I'll play for you what Steph Curry said when he was asked that question on Gil's podcast, and then we'll come back with my commentary.
We'll talk about it.
Are you the best point guard ever?
Yes. I have. Yes. It's me and Magic. That's the conversation.
Yeah. Because as we can look at stats all day, right? We can look at stats and try to judge. I wasn't around with Magic.
Me?
I know, right? So
I have so much respect.
I know there's not a lot of 6'9" point guard. No one's trying. I'm thinking about the '90s growing up. There was nobody trying to be a 6'9" point guard, right? I mean, it just. But I can witness and watch every kid trying to be Curry. You know what I mean? So it's like the influence that you really have on the game from the position as a player. I look at the stats and say, okay, Magic then Curry. When I look at the kids and I watch AAU, it's like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously I have to answer it that way, but I really feel like, to your point, like Magic's resume is ridiculous. Yeah. Like, all right, so the fact that we're even having that conversation it's a place I never thought I'd be in. But the fact that, to your point of like how you grade it and the whole conversation, that's why we have the conversations, because it's fun and it's measuring errors against each other. And I love that's what basketball, that's what sports is all about. That's why people watch. That's why people get in heated debates about it. I love it. So you put me on my own team, I'm gonna rep myself for sure. But Magic, like that's a lofty resume to shoot for, right? So I'm still going. Let's see what happens. Come on.
I mean, it's point forward. I mean, it's, I'm just saying, it's point. I mean, you know how you be cheating. It's point forward over there. We got the point guard right here. I mean, it's.
All right. They kept talking a little bit more, and they went into some more details about some other things. But you get the gist of it. What he said. He gave an initial answer of yes. I am. And then he said, well, we talking about me and Magic, like he's only in the discussion with Magic. But then toward the end, he tried to clean it up and give a more politically correct answer. And then you heard Give It Arenas like, no, don't back out now. He was like, yo, don't back out. He was, kind of, nah, man, stand on what you said. You're the best, right? And okay, it's cool. I don't know if he really feels like that. I don't know if he's purposely doing that just to feed the content beast, because he did say, man, it's fun, and it's fun to have these debates and have this talk. So sometimes players just want to feed the content beast. And I never known Steph Curry to be that type of person to even feed into it. But this is what I say about it. There's no greats before this era. Not even Kobe Bryant, J Kidd, T Mac, Shaq, Hakeem, not even Michael Jordan, not Magic, not Bird, not Oscar, not West, not David Robinson, not Duncan. There was not Isaiah, not Bill Russell, not Wilt, right? There was no one that was willing to come out and say, I am the best, I am the greatest, other than Muhammad Ali. But no one in basketball was willing to come out and there and say it. And I like the explanation that Michael Jordan gave when he was asked about it years ago. And he said, I would never consider myself the GOAT. He said it is an uncomfortable title to even think about. Like, he cringed when he hears that, because he really respected the people that came before him so much that he wouldn't disrespect the game or his peers or his people that laid the foundation for him. Like, you have to respect the game and respect the people before you and respect your peers. That's just a courtesy. You have to do that because they laid the groundwork for you. The millions of dollars you make was that work was done before you. You have to respect it. And the way you respect it, I mean, you run it. You get to have a person like Kareem, Wilt, Bill Russell, all these guys walking around here knowing the game that they play and love, that they treat like a fraternity, and they are the OGs in that fraternity. And they got to sit back and look at what this game has grew to and think about all the things that they had to do to help lay that foundation and help grow the game, and all that work and labor that they put in a time in America where they were still fighting racism and they was getting paid little or nothing, right? Some of them had to work jobs in the summer, right? They wasn't getting paid that much stuff, but they was laying the groundwork. To see the young cats in this generation now walk around here with millions, making a fortune in 10 to 15 years to change the whole landscape of their family forever. And they're alive to see it, right? And to sit back and watch and try to enjoy these young guys and then hear them turn around and not only throw it in their face that we make more money than y'all. You know, when they try to critique them, they throw it in their face. You're jealous because we're making millions of dollars. They throw it in there. People like Draymond Green do that, right? Throw it in their face, right? And now they're turning around and spitting on the game and saying things like, what was it? JJ Redick, who said that Larry Bird was a horrible shooter that played against plumbers, right? Just to turn around and say things like that, and then turn around and say, I'm the greatest of all time, which is what LeBron just started claiming. Kobe didn't even do that. I'm the greatest of all time. And now to hear Steph Curry out of this generation come out and start saying things like, I'm the greatest point guard ever, I think that's ridiculous. Now, the explanation that Gilbert Arenas gave was an idiotic one, right? Because, of course, he has Steph Curry as a guest on his show, and he's catered to him a little bit. But to give an explanation after you say, and after Steph Curry admit that the resume that Magic Johnson laid down in just a 12-year career, he had to retire early. The resume he laid down is almost untouchable, right? So you both are going to admit that, but then say that Steph is the greatest because he sees kids copying his style of play after Steph Curry changed the game with his shooting. He see kids copying that style of play now, and he didn't see anybody copying Magic Johnson's style of play and trying to be a 6'9" point guard. Now, it's two ways that that's an idiotic comment. Number one, that's not the only thing that Magic Johnson did to change the game or to be a trailblazer. As far as him passing and being, he got his nickname is Magic for his passing. He's throwing no look. He's throwing look offs, look aways. He's manipulating the defense, running full speed down the court at 6'9", and just I mean, of course, we had players a little bit before him, Pistol Pete and people like that, that was magical with the ball as well. But 6'9" wasn't the only thing unique about Magic. Magic was unique also because he was actually Magic with the ball, the way he passed. And you do see people copying it. The way Magic Johnson played the point guard position, you see Stockton, you see Mark Jackson, right? You see CP3, right? You see all these pass first point guards, Rondo, like that flair and that flash of passing like that, being able to lead a team and from the point guard position and anchor and lead a team from the front, right? With passing mostly, scoring secondary, right? Yeah, that is a copycat that follows Magic Johnson in that way. So to say that we only see kids trying to be like Steph, but nobody's trying to be like Magic, yeah, they was trying to pass like Magic. Now, as far as his comment about 6'9" point guards or tall point guards trying to run a point, there's plenty. Jalen Rose even told you that watching Magic, he's from Detroit, right? Which is what Magic's from. I think Magic's from Detroit. Or either where's Magic from? He's from Michigan, somewhere. I don't know where in Michigan, but he's from Michigan. So of course Jalen Rose grew up looking up the Magic, and he's a 6'8" point guard. He played point guard in high school, played point guard in college. When he got to the league, he played point guard a little bit at Denver, but by the time he got to Indiana, he was a small forward, right? But there's a 6'8" point guard. Penny Hardaway at 6'7" was a 6'7", 6'8" point guard, right? Steve Smith, when he first got in the league, when he got drafted by the Heat, he was a 6'8" point guard. Brian Shaw was a 6'6" point guard. Ron Harper was a 6'6" point guard. Like this, like people, big guards existed, you know. So it's a lot of ways that people was mimicking Magic. LeBron, you can say LeBron's a 6'8" point guard, 6'9" point guard. Like, so it's a lot of ways Magic got mimicked as well. He changed the game, he revolutionized the game, he paved the way for a new brand of basketball just as well as Steph did, right? So that whole comment in itself was pretty weird. I think it's a little bit disrespectful. Although it do give us something to talk about, I think it's a little disrespectful for Steph to come out and say that. And I mean, and I knew these guys on the Warriors was a little cocky, but good Lord, like Isaiah Thomas, man, really, like it's just you and Magic. Steph Curry is just you and Magic. All right. So I don't think, and there's two ways you can have this conversation: who's a better player and who has a better resume. I think by far the resume of Magic far exceeds any other point guard in history. There's no other point guard that has Magic's resume. All right, so we're not talking about the resume. I mean, Magic Johnson is what, 5 rings, maybe 9 or 10 finals appearances. He got 5 rings out of 4 MVPs. You know, he then got finals MVPs. 9 times all NBA. You know, just, I mean, the list goes on, man. Where he's at the assist totals, the triple double totals. I mean, it's just crazy. Magic Johnson resume is crazy. Now Steph Curry has a good resume, 2 MVPs, 1 Finals MVP, 4 rings, 8, 9 All-Stars. But I mean, remember, this is a guy who didn't make All-Star the first 4 years in the league, right? So I mean, you look at Isaiah Thomas' career and what he was able to do. I think what he did was he don't have the MVPs that Steph got, so that's some hardware that he's not going to have. But he got 2 rings, should have had a 3rd, right? And then the league changed on him, and then Michael Jordan became the marquee player, and that ended, that kind of ended the bad boy Pistons. But Isaiah carrying the team, he never played with a Kevin Durant. He didn't have Kevin Durant for 3 years like Steph did. I like to look at that first ring that Steph got as a ring that I think it was as tough as the ring that Isaiah got with the Detroit Pistons. But Isaiah got 2 of those type rings that was hard. The 2 rings that Steph got with KD, those are shortcut rings, and we already know about that. Everybody was taking shortcuts in this era. KD considered taking a shortcut by joining the Warriors. That was a shortcut. He didn't have to do that. He was good enough, and his team was good enough. He could have kept going back to war with what he had. But he took a shortcut. I admit that. Kevin Durant took a shortcut, but Steph Curry also took that same shortcut by agreeing to form with Kevin Durant. I'm not a believer like some people that since it was Steph's team and Kevin Durant came that way, then Steph Curry doesn't lose any cool points for doing it. No, he loses the same amount of cool points as Kevin Durant does. So if we water down Kevin Durant's rings, which I don't water it down, but when you stack it up against the rings that they was getting in the era before, I think the rings was a tougher challenge when you stay with your team and you figure it out and figure out how you go get better every year once you get knocked out. Not jump ship, right? So especially not jump ship and go where the grass looks greener, right? So Steph and KD both did that. So those 2 rings that Kevin Durant and Steph got together, it's not as hard as what Isaiah got with the Bad Boy Pistons, right? So I got 1 that Steph got conventionally, 2 that he didn't get conventionally, and then the 1 he just got kind of never would have happened if Kevin Durant never came, because the team that they had was made possible by Kevin Durant agreeing to a sign and trade to get D'Angelo Russell, which turned into the trade for Andrew Wiggins, and the fact that Kevin Durant left and Steph got hurt turned into them getting those great draft picks that they end up getting that turned into Jordan Poole and Moody and Wiseman and all that good stuff, right? So that's it. Kevin Durant, put forward or put in motion a series of events that actually led and helped them lead up to that last championship they got, right? So I'll really give I can only match up that 1 that Steph Curry got with the 2 that Isaiah got, right? So I say all that to say this. I think Steph Curry is still behind Isaiah and Magic on my list of point guards, but I do have Steph third. So and that's a great achievement, especially how hard I grade. That's a great achievement for him to be third, because it was hard for me to put him above Oscar and J Kidd, who I got 4th and 5th, right? So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Do you think it was a little disrespectful to go on a platform and just bypass Isaiah and everybody else, and everybody else that's in your fraternity as NBA players, and in your fraternity of great point guards that exist, and then just say, yeah, it's just me and Magic and I'm the best? Yeah, I think. I do you think that's a little bit disrespectful, or I mean, are you cool with it and you like the fact that he giving us some content that we can feed off for another couple of days? You know what I mean? So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments.